What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk about SoFi. Big news came out for SoFi, so I'm going to break that down for you and what that actually means for us as investors. I'm also going to go over some updated data points very relevant to a lot of investors, especially with there being only about 5 trading days before their upcoming earnings, which is a huge catalyst in my opinion. But before I get into any of that though, I'll ask, smash your thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate that. If you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With all that, let's get right to it. So looking at the chart, we are bouncing back fairly strong. We did find a very strong support around the $10.70 mark, and that is actually exactly where I did buy it, at $10.74, because I personally do feel that this is a great buying opportunity based on this acquisition with cloud-based banking platform Technisy. I may have said that wrong, but this is a very big deal. And looking on their website, it is a very innovative company, and you can already tell just by looking at their website and just scrolling around a little bit, which I highly recommend that you do. You can definitely see the benefits that SoFi would get. I'm just going to break this down for you as well as far as the overall acquisition and what that actually means for us as investors. So this is as of February 22nd, so today, so brand new information. So there's a couple things as well I do want to go through, more specifically the financials and what that will mean for us as investors. Again, going back to this, it is $1.1 billion all stock deal, and that is tentatively why it's going down. And more psychologically from an investor standpoint, I know a lot of people don't like dilution, hands down, but when a company does a all stock deal at its all-time lows, that definitely shows that there is a lot of upside, because no company ever does that at its all-time lows. They generally do it at all-time highs. That is one big key to take away from all this, and this is why I do strongly feel, as in addition to SoFi, that this is going to be very beneficial for its investors long term and for its growth. And just looking here, you can see it works in the overall financial strategy of SoFi, what it wants to do, and it does look like, based on their strategy as well, they are intending on capitalizing on Galileo and Technisy as far as previous opportunities. So selling into Technisy's existing customer base with 11 new geographical and selling into the broader array of new customers. So that is one key thing, especially considering we all know, based on PayPal, they did cut their guidance as far as 2022, and that is one big deal. But SoFi, as of right now, is doing everything possible to obtain new additional customers, and I do personally feel that Technisy is a very good way of doing that. So it does actually look like this transaction is set to add a cumulative 500 to 800 million of revenue through the year ending of 2025. So there is a lot of long-term growth, and even 2025 is right around the corner, and I do personally feel that this is going to be a completely different company by that stage. There's going to be a lot more acquisitions most likely in its future, and their customer base is going to be through the roof. So coming from an investor standpoint, buying in now is a great opportunity, and I've been doing a lot of videos on SoFi, and just alone their upcoming earnings, that is going to be a very big deal, a very pivotal point in the whole long-term health of SoFi, especially more so their guidance. Their guidance is going to be a very big deal, and so this is why right now is an amazing time to buy in. In addition to this, whole transaction is set to deliver to SoFi mid-teens as far as the internal rate of return, so that's fairly good. It's also set to create roughly about 75 to 85 million in cost savings from 2022 to 2025, which coming from an investor is always good things. And looking right now, it does look like as well it's 60 to 70 as far as annually after that. So a lot of good things when it comes down to this, and I personally really do like a lot of these numbers that they're providing here, assuming that they are correct and all that. But I do strongly feel, coming from an investor standpoint, even if they are off roughly about 10 to 15%, it is still very beneficial, this whole transaction, for SoFi and its investors. So at the end of the day, you can even tell based on looking at this, some of the short activity. Shorts are technically closing out some of their position. They do anticipate that this is a very good deal. As of right now, 1874 is a short interest, utilization is 97.28, and day by day change, like I said, it is actually going down by 0.42%, which works out to be 767,000 shares being returned. So shorts are definitely scared of this, and looking at cost to borrow, it is very cheap, so less than around 1%. So right now it is very incentivizing for shorts to add their position. So when I do see shorts closing out their position, that's very exciting for me as an investor, especially as well since there's that Russia and Ukraine tensions kind of looming, which could cause a lot of damage to the stock market. Shorts hypothetically theoretically would be increasing. So this is very exciting news for us as investors. Just want to also go over some options activity. So right now you can see technically $561,000 worth of options being done today, with 88% of them being positive. So I really do like that. In addition to, I just want to show you the live ticker to my left. Currently it is down 4.14%, give or take. Volume is 22 million, so it's going to be another heavily traded day, whereas the average is 37. But one thing I want to draw your attention to is the block volume column. So 4 million shares being purchased by institutions and hedge funds today alone. So a lot of institutions definitely do find value in SoFi, and this in reality is going to be a home run, especially considering post earnings as well. Also, I just want to say all this information on this website right here is from Ortex. Links are in the description below if you want to take a look at that. Just want to show you this as well. So new round of 13Fs coming down the pipeline, and right now there isn't any new ones. There is some short positions, but they did close out some position, as you can see, 511%. But when it comes down to it, there is still a lot of shorts, and we all know that, especially considering, like I just went over the short information. But I do anticipate a lot of them feeling a lot of the pain fairly soon. I do strongly anticipate that there's going to be a nice momentum leading up to their earnings. And in case you do not know, it is on March the 1st, 2022, after market close. So give or take around 5 trading days from now. So this is very exciting. And right now the estimate for earnings per share is at a 16-cent loss. So that's as well something for you to keep in mind. And in case you do not know, there's several different things that they're going to bring up during earnings that a lot of investors should be aware of, such as their earnings per share, revenue, and guidance. Guidance is the big deal when it comes down to SoFi, and that's what a lot of investors are going to be paying attention to, especially considering now they are a chartered bank. So there is a lot of growth that can be done based on that, and this is why right now I do strongly feel it is a great buying opportunity. And also keeping in line more so with institutions and hedge funds supporting SoFi and finding a lot of value, I just want to show you this because I did bring this up in yesterday's video, and this is updated information as well. Q4 2021 hedge funds. You can see total calls. There was 3.5 million total call options being purchased by hedge funds. This is a very big deal, and it's pretty stagnant from the quarter prior, but all 13F filers, it does show 27.5 million total call options. And there is a lot of upside potential, and a lot of institutions and hedge funds know that. And even so, going back to this, the new round of 13Fs, you can see a lot of institutions and hedge funds have a lot of averages around the high teens. This definitely does show that there's a lot of value even at those levels, because also keep in mind when a lot of these transactions from these 13Fs were actually conducted, that was from December 31st and prior. So there is a lot of upside because at that stage, SoFi was technically not a chartered bank. So this is why right now we are at a screaming buying opportunity, and this is why I did buy in today as well. So with that, I just want to cap it off with some technical analysis. So right now I have the 50, 100, 200-day moving averages, Bollinger Bands, RSI, stochastic, and momentum. So you can see momentum despite everything, despite the heavy volume, number of buyers is actually down big time today. Right now as well in the stochastics, showing a little bit more of a bearish sentiment. There is a deviation red line above the black, and looking on the actual chart, we are well below all the moving averages and technically at the lower percentile of the Bollinger Band. So right now a lot of the indicators and on the chart, it's showing a little bit more bearish, but keep in mind a lot has happened because we have transitioned from the higher to the lower percentile of the Bollinger Band. There is a lot of fear within the market, and now adding a 1.1 billion deal, that definitely doesn't help the stock price whatsoever, but it is a great buying opportunity because that is good for the long-term health of SoFi. And once today passes, this is just going to be old news, and now it's going to be the bigger and better SoFi, especially with this transaction, and it has a huge customer base that SoFi can benefit from. With all that, let me know your thoughts on SoFi in the comments below. If you haven't already, smash a thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate that. If you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With all that, let's all make a lot of money on SoFi.